How are you,
I'm
Anton?
very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm so glad to see you.
Me too.
Bringing you into your amazing sound. Exquisite. I'll let it play a little longer. Hope your day was good or is good.
Yeah, it's just we're at one o'clock in the afternoon now.
It's so crazy, isn't that how that works?
Yeah, I know. I still can't get my head around it.
Yeah, two different sides of the world. Beautiful. I love you. Absolutely incredible. That right there, of course, was exquisite. And I think rightfully so. Welcome to the Face Behind the Brand. I am your host, Monique Marie, and you are the amazing singer, songwriter, recording artist, violinist, vocal coach, Anton Aktila.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited you're here. How is your day going so far today?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just preparing for tonight's gigs because it is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It is Friday here, so yeah, just getting ready for tonight's show and yeah, preparing for the weekend.
Yeah, I just find it so incredible, that you are, you working the way you do, and I think it's just the energy, of course, that you have, the gift by day, and then of course gig by night, recording artist, artist by night. So let's get into it, Anton. Humble beginnings. Where does this amazing gift come from? I know you told me your father, but go deeper into this incredible sound.
Okay, my father is an amazing singer.
Mm-hmm.
And I come from a long line of musicians and singers in our family. And they're all over the world and they're all in music.
Yeah.
But really my biggest influence was my father, probably the earliest memories would be like 4 or 5 years old, and
Yeah.
by the time I was about 6 years old, 7 years old, my dad was getting me to jump on stage and, do little things, on stage with him, little songs on stage. And he realized I had a passion for music and I loved music. And so he kind of nurtured that and helped me with that,
Yeah.
and just saw I had a love for it. And so he pushed me.
Yeah.
And my family are very supportive of my music career,
Yeah. Well, you could see that. It exudes from just your life, the support, the push, I mean, you obviously, you have to have definitely that, you have to have the right energy and the right people, pushing you and around you. So you are Lebanese, correct?
I'm a mix. Yeah, my mum is like Scottish Maori and dad
Okay.
is Lebanese, and yeah, I'm
Lebanese.
like United Nations, right?
So you speak how many languages?
I speak I speak Arabic fluently. My Greek is terrible,
Mm.
and I speak a bit of Tagalog because I was over in the Philippines, and I just picked it up and learned it while I was over there.
Well, I caught the, just crazy how I just pushed the button yesterday. I told you I caught your interview, thank God, with you and Wanye Morris from Boys to Men. And I was listening. Of course, that was helpful for tonight because you shared some things about the beginning, even to the fact that you didn't speak English until you started listening to Boys to Men.
Well, I wasn't singing English at all. Like, I mean, I could speak English, of course, but I've grown up listening to world music, English and everything you can think of, from Turkish to Greek to Arabic to Yugoslavian. But my dad is my mum is also very into music, so I grew up listening to the Beatles, to Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Temptations. So there was all these influences in my life, very early on. But as a singer, I always wanted to be an Arabic singer.
Yeah.
And then Boyz II Men came out, and I heard this you know, real intricate. You know, what I love about Arabic music was it's so intricate. And I found that same kind of intricacy in Boys to Men. And the second I heard them, and I heard Wanye's voice, and I was like,
Ooh.
damn, I want to sing like that, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, you know? And so I was inspired to sing English, and it kind of went from there, you know? And I told Wanye that yesterday, and he spun out. He was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, he was shocked.
He was very shocked.
Yeah, and I want to ask you that, like, how does that make you feel? Because you're this incredible artist, and so I think a lot of times we have these big voices like this, and then you get in front of somebody like that, and it's like he's giving you like praises, like, dear God, you know. So how does that make you feel?
You know what? Inspired, humbled, you know, so many, you know, I've been working forever, you know, since I was a kid, doing music, and you know, aspiring to people like him, you know, and having him say, you know, I love your voice, you know, you're talented and all that kind of stuff. It's just really humbling, to be honest, and inspires me to want to be better, you know. Kind of gives you more drive, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, thank God for Wanye Wednesdays, because of course, both yourself and shout out to Son of Soul, who was on there, which of course was on the show here a couple of weeks ago. And of course you covered the interview, and then of course that's how we connected. So I think there is no such thing as coincidence, right?
No, not at all.
I don't believe in coincidence. So you, let me take you back a little bit. So you started at 13, correct? Singing?
I started singing professionally at about 13 years old, 13, 14. Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible. And you were also a member of Vocal Brothers.
The Robertson Brothers. Yeah.
The Robertson Brothers, correction, excuse me. The Robertson Brothers. So talk to me about how, of course, both working with the Robertson Brothers, and of course you guys getting together and you guys doing the TV theme song, you know, for, you know, in Australia, and how that all came about.
You know what, I was on a little TV show called Australian Idol.
Australian Idol.
And it was the first season. It was actually the first season of Australian Idol. So we had watched the American one, and of course, you know, Kelly Clarkson, and it blew up all over the world, right? And so we watched the American one, and then once at the end of that season, they started advertising for the Australian one, and I was like, I'm definitely gonna audition for this, because I knew how big it was, and I knew it was changing people's lives and opening doors for people. So I said, I'm definitely going to audition for this. So I went on Australian Idol, and then from there, once I got knocked off, I was actually judging a singing competition run by Coca-Cola, which I had won the year before, and one of the Robertson brothers was actually judging it, and he saw me, and he's like, "Man, I've been trying to get in contact with you." And I was finding it hard to get in contact with you. I want to invite you to join our group.
Wow.
Crazy. Their brother had left for a little while, and so they were looking for a replacement. And so I joined them, and that was right after Australian Idol. And, you know, we started doing the Home and Away theme song, which, of course, is, you know, really iconic in Australia and in the UK. It's really iconic Australian show. And so, you know, every couple of years we'd re-record a version of the theme song, and that's kind of our little call to fame, you know, what people knew us for. But we also did the backing vocals for Australian Idol. So the following year, I went back and we started working for the TV show.
Wow.
And did the backing vocals for that, which was a really cool experience to be, I guess, on the other side, on the business side.
Yes. Yeah. So you got a chance to see what really goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. And the amount of work that goes, you know, when you're on the show, you're a little bit oblivious to how much work is actually put into it, you know, with the band and the arrangements and the backing vocalists. You know,
Yeah.
we could spend 15 hours a day sitting
Yeah.
in a studio.
Yeah.
But when you're on the show, you don't realize that because you're running around doing stuff, makeup, clothes, interviews. You don't realize.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
speaking of clothes, you are definitely debonair, I should say. Uh,
I tried to go casual for you today, just a little bit, just bring it down a
no,
little.
you still, I mean, you always look very, you know, just put together. And I just, you know, it's not branding. It's just, it's you, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I had to use that word, because I've never seen anything like it. You have a love for Versace. So talk to me about.
Man, I do have a love for Versace. It's
Yes.
my weakness, unfortunately, and makes me poor. I need to be sponsored by those guys. If you're
Yeah.
out there listening, Versace, I need to be sponsored by you guys.
Talk about it, honey. Speak it up. Because I literally thought, I'm like, I said, he must be an ambassador or business
I'm not.
development.
I do love their clothing.
It's
Look,
beautiful.
I love fashion, you know, and I think fashion goes hand in hand with music, you know, with entertainment.
Yeah.
You do have to portray yourself in a certain way.
Yeah.
And you know, every artist chooses how they want to, you know, portray themselves. But I kind of like that real sharp, you know, crisp look,
Oof.
and especially when I'm performing.
Absolutely.
You
And
know,
you put it together very well, sir. You know, I love that you see the picture I used for one of the announcements, the whole.
yeah,
Talk about that, because you shared with Wanye that you were at the Versace suite. You were in a
yeah,
hotel Versace
I
suite.
was at the Versace penthouse. So
The Versace penthouse. Yeah.
yeah, I got invited by you know, they were watching the show. They were watching the Boys to Men, you know, the one Wednesdays, and they said, "Would you like to do your next interview at the Versace penthouse?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I sure would." Yeah, you know, and you know, a lot of famous people have stayed there. The Jacksons and you know, obviously Boys to Men have stayed there, and they knew the girl that looks after it. So yeah, it was just a nice little, you know, I guess, you know, what do they call it? 6 degrees of separation or something like that.
Listen, I was floored. I couldn't stop looking behind you when you were. I was like trying to look at, you know, the Medusa, just everything was there. Because, you know, what's funny, I used to work for one of the companies that just does the eyewear only for Versace. So I can definitely appreciate just the proprietary coatings and just the quality overall. You know what I'm saying? So I'm totally with you. Talk about your experience, of course, at X Factor. You and Bilal. Is it Bilal?
Look, you know what? I'll be honest with you. That was a pretty horrible one. If I have to be honest. You know, Bilal and I, we auditioned. Bilal's this amazing rapper. He's from Australia as well. And he's just a great rapper. And we had been working together for a couple of years. You know, we do stuff online. We did some film clips, some songs together. And we thought, everyone's like, you guys got to go on X Factor. You have to go. You have to go. And I'm like, cool. Well, all right, let's go and audition. And we went for that audition, and we got through a couple of rounds.
Yeah.
And they didn't air any of it. Not 1 minute of TV time.
Crazy.
And for us to have gotten through, say, 3 rounds, it was kind of strange that they didn't air any of it on TV. But I was lucky enough that I had somebody record it, not with video, but with audio. And I think that's what you saw maybe online.
Yeah, I saw it.
I just grabbed some pictures and put it up online because people were like, "Did you actually do the audition?" I'm like, "Yeah, we did." And you know, we got a very good interaction with the crowd. Like they loved it. And we actually did a Guy Sebastian. So Guy Sebastian is the winner of Australian Idol. and he was one of the judges, and we actually did one of his songs on the show.
Wow.
To him, he was one of the judges of the show, and you know, they seem to like it, but I don't know. I'm not sure why they didn't air any of it.
Yeah, we'll never
But
know.
that's TV, you know. It's at the end of the day. I understand there's the music side of things, you know, and then there's the business.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the business and the music don't go hand in hand.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I've got no hard feelings against X Factor. You know, at the end of the day, they are a TV show, and they're here to put a show together. And maybe it didn't fit into their format of what they wanted. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
No
And it's
hard feelings.
Because you've been, you know, the exposure that you receive, but the other exposure you're getting after. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, it must be something bigger coming. You know, something bigger coming. So if it's bigger than X Factor, I mean, good Lord, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So influences. We know Boys to Men is one of them. Talk about your influences.
Okay. If I had to say my first influence, my father was a massive, massive influence on my musical life and my life in general. But regarding my music, you know, and playing instruments and things like that, my father.
Yes.
And then, you know, of course, Boys to Men, Stevie Wonder, Brian McKnight, and even, you know, like kind of on the newer stuff, like, you know, Usher and Neo. You know, I love those guys, you know, and I'm not a huge fan of the latest, you know, music that's happening at the moment. I love old school R&B, like the 112 and the Blackstreet, and you know, that stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, I find that music has changed a lot. You know, stylistically, what they call R&B is not really R&B anymore. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know exactly. I think it's, you know, this is a different generation. And of course, singers like yourself, you know, myself, you know, people that like singers like you mentioned, were brought up listening to singers, you know, with an A. You know, you talk about your father, you know, and people with these amazing voices. And so I think it's kind of leading to a conversation I wanted to have with you too regarding speech level singing, because so many people are not used to the belting. You know, it kind of scares people, like, woo, you know, so they want you to come in and they want you to be that type of artist that just kind of sing at your speech level, you know?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Look, I think it's got its place. But, you know, we work our whole lives to be able to sing.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to go and just do something that's monotone just to you know, make the masses happy. At the end of the day, I've worked my whole life to be able to perform and sing properly. And be able to belt and do the softer, sweeter stuff as well. So I want to show all aspects of my voice. So yeah, I know what you're talking about regarding this new style of singing, that everything is really flat and monotone and not really vocally pushed. Whereas when you go back to like the Stevies and the Brian McKnights and the Boyz II Men, you know, the Wanyas, these guys sing their asses off. You know what I mean? And those are the people that I aspire to be. You know, like that.
It's you did a great rendition, by the way, of Stevie Wonder's "Lately."
Yeah.
I love Stevie Wonder. An amazing rendition. Shout out, I see you, AB Butler. You got some nice heavy hitters in here in the building for you tonight, Anton. I see Orlando Rocco on here tonight. That's an amazing producer, also here in the Bay Area. But yeah, lately was, as you saw, I posted it. It gives me chills. And as you saw some of the comments, I mean, just phenomenal voice you have. So, what was the first album or CD that you actually could say that you purchased yourself, that you owned? Was it a Boyz II Men CD?
You know what? I will tell you. I will tell you something way earlier than that. Something that my first record, and I'm now showing my age. Record,
Yes,
right?
record.
That I ever received was Michael Jackson Thriller,
Oh,
and I actually got it on my 5th birthday.
oh my
And
Jesus.
I absolutely killed that record because I just listened to it over and over and over again. It was
Wow.
my, Michael Jackson was like a massive
Mm.
inspiration for me from my very early days of listening. And I guess even vocally a little bit, his little growls that he does and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah.
I do those without even thinking about it. But then when I listen to Michael, I'm like, oh, I've actually stolen that from him. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, who hasn't?
Well,
I think
everyone.
Michael Jackson, so many people inspired by everything that he did, So
Absolutely.
yeah.
That is my really earliest recollection of that. But then I started buying stuff on my own. Like, I was listening to NWA and Public
Ooh.
Enemy and like all the rap. Like I was really into rap.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Yeah.
And I wish I could be a rapper, but I'm just not good enough.
You have
Like
rap.
I don't have it. It's just vocally, there's something about you got to have a certain sound. There's a sound and I don't really have that. Like I'm made to sing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
I
do
find
you
that,
actually, how do you prepare like at night? So like say you have a gig tonight, right? What is
yeah,
your preparation like? Warming up or mentally, the piece. What are you doing right before your show?
you know what? I'm just throughout the day. I'm kind of just singing. I'm always singing, so
Yes.
I just make sure that my voice is open.
Yeah.
Generally, I'll get in the shower
Mm.
a couple of hours before a gig and jump in the shower, steam it up, and I'll jump in the shower and sing. And that way, you kind of get all the steam into your lungs but again, throughout the day, I'm making sure that I'm singing, so my voice is open.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
yeah, just and singing all the time gives you that flexibility in your voice as well. I find if I don't sing, sometimes I'll go away on holidays for a couple of weeks and I don't really sing at all. You're out doing things. I come back after 2 weeks and I feel like my voice is a bit tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it is a muscle, and you got to exercise it.
It gets tired. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, you just don't want to sing. Honestly, there's some days I don't feel like singing like today. Nothing bad about it. It's just, I don't want to open my mouth to do that today.
Yeah.
I mean, not belt wise. I just, sometimes I'm just like that. But speaking of it, because you are a vocal coach, so obviously I'm asking for a few gems here tonight. And for everybody, for the culture, as far as just being effective. So talk about some of the do's and don'ts. So you mentioned some of the things you do before the shower. What are things singers like yourself and just any singer, what are some of the things that we should not do?
Okay. Look, I think it depends, like if you're feeling a little bit vocally, like you got phlegm or something, you shouldn't be drinking. You shouldn't be drinking your milk and yogurts and that kind of stuff. I try and stay away from ice, really cold drinks before my gigs. And I think if you've got a sore throat, clearing your throat, doing this, it's really bad. It's you're smashing your vocal cords together. So I tell all my students, if you're going to clear your throat, you're better off just like doing a throaty cough, like a like that. You get the same effect. You get the same clearing effect without smashing your vocal cords together. Because over a period of time, that kind of can develop vocal nodules and things in your throat that you don't want.
Yeah.
But generally, look, I'll be honest with you. I have ice in my drinks.
Yeah.
I drink milk.
Yeah.
I eat before I jump on stage. Like I do all the crazy shit that most singers would never do.
Right.
But I'm not too fussy. I'm not overly. I think just as long as you keep your voice warm, you'll be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you mentioned nodules, and that's interesting because my mom always tells me, as far as the coughing like that, she'll hear me like, "Right, don't cough so hard." You know, my
Yeah.
mother's a singer too,
Okay.
and I got to get it out, whatever it is. But she's like, "Don't cough that hard." You know, even if you choking, just try not to cough as hard as you think you need to cough.
Yeah.
Um, and I think she's on here tonight too. My mommy, she actually developed nodules on her vocal cords.
Uh-huh.
So and she was a singer, and my grandmother was a singer. So I kind of understand what you're saying, as far as that goes. But then I think you know what to do, or I should say, you know what not to do, like completely, if you just want to protect. I mean, this is your moneymaker, right? So
Absolutely.
you only will do certain things to an extent to protect your baby,
Yeah. Look, some people's voices are, or, uh, throats are a little bit more delicate than others. So we just all hope that we're not the delicate ones.
Yes.
That, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Now, you talked about the business a little bit a few minutes ago, and I want to go back to it. Understanding the music business, and you are, again, from the business. You've been signed before. So talk about a little bit about that experience. And of course, I know you would be signed again. I mean, just with your amazing talent. But what would you do differently this time would be my second part to that question.
okay. Look, I think to be signed again, what
Mm-hmm.
for me, if I was to do it, I would want more control.
Mm. Creative.
I'm older, and I think I'm a bit more established, and I have a better understanding about who I am and what I want to do musically.
Yes.
So I would definitely want more control regarding songs, regarding style,
Mm-hmm.
stylistically what I want to do, and even down to the way I dress,
Yeah.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if someone was to kind of be agreeable on that, I would definitely go for another record deal. But
Yeah.
otherwise, um, if not, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I talk about it a lot, because obviously every person I see is usually an artist. But again, I don't have any reason to say no against it, other than what you just mentioned. And you're talking about creative control, you
Yeah.
know. And I think more of the younger generation coming behind us, they're hungry. But at the same time, yeah, I think the business aspect is so crucial to get. Like, and I think that's in anything. I mean, outside of music, I mean, handle your business, your paperwork,
100%.
your research on the business that you're getting into.
I think, when you're younger, um, you're so hungry for it.
Yeah.
You're so hungry. You're willing to sell your soul
Mm.
virtually. You know what I mean? I mean, you
Yeah.
don't realize you're selling your soul,
Mm-hmm.
but, there's certain contracts you just should not be signing.
Right.
You really are signing your entire life.
Yeah.
From everything from your touring to your merch, like your merchandise, to
Mm-hmm.
your just every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
Um, you got to be really careful what you're
Yeah.
signing. You got to understand the business,
Mm-hmm.
because music is just one very very small aspect of
Outside of it. Yeah.
the whole thing. And you want to be able to understand the business side of things, because if you don't, you're going to get eaten up and spat out as bones.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Crucial. I think
Yeah.
everybody we've talked about, like when you talk about Michael Jackson and Prince and Tina Turner, and there's all these greats, up until even some of the ones who are no longer with us, Michael Jackson, Prince, were like literally trying to regain their masters the whole time they were performing.
Yeah.
None of us knew that, like until, they met their demise, so it's,
Prince couldn't even use his own name.
yeah, until,
You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you got to be careful.
Absolutely.
You got to
Absolutely.
be careful.
But again, we're all hungry because we want to be artists,
Mm-hmm.
performing and having record deals and putting music out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you got to be really careful. You got to be
Yeah.
really careful. You got to understand the business.
Mm-hmm. And I
That's
mean, I
important.
think it's ever changing. It's totally different from what it was 20, I would say even 30, 40 years ago, obviously, not just because of just the time, but it's definitely different. It's changed a great deal. So speaking of music and the voice, the strengths that you have, we know one of the biggest ones is the voice, the vocals. Talk to me about a weakness
A
that you have.
weakness.
Yeah.
Good question. Okay. Well, I think a good singer, every singer has a weakness in their voice.
Yeah.
I think, but clever singers who have a bit of knowledge about who they are, never reveal their weakness.
Mm.
But for me, I'm never going to tell you my weakness.
You're like, I'm sitting here waiting, like you just worked your way all the way around the question. Anton,
Yeah.
I think you told me one though earlier. I'm gonna go back and watch this. So you
Look,
said in the beginning, what did you say? Was it milk or something? What did you say? You said
look,
you gave
I think look, again, smart singers will always show their strengths and try not to show their weaknesses in their voice.
Absolutely.
Everybody has them. Look, I'll give you an example. Like I used to do a lot of jingles and stuff back in the day for radio programs or for companies. And one time I got approached to do Nessun Dorma by Pavarotti. And they wanted to change all the lyrics to Nessun Dorma.
Wow.
And I was like, why are you calling me for? And they said, oh, because we know you can hit that top note.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, but I'm far from an opera singer.
Wow.
And I think as a singer, you do have to understand your capabilities. And it's not that if I didn't, maybe if I trained for 6 months, I could do opera and maybe do it justice. But I did turn that job down.
Yeah.
And it was really, really good money. And I turned it down just because whenever I do something, I really do want to be able to do it justice.
Yes.
And if I feel I can't, I'm never going to put myself in that position where I look foolish or I walk out of a job feeling like, man, I could have done that a million times better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think as an artist, you do have to understand your limitations or what your limitations are at the time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I was talking to a friend of mine last week, and we were talking about the Trinity. Just the different people didn't realize that there literally is a Trinity. There's only a few artists in that Trinity, and I'm sure you know who they are. Celine Dion is one of them.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
So that's like people don't realize like that those notes up there are they're not just there to find like we're talking about like anointed, gifted people.
Oh yeah.
So you mentioned genes, and that's what we're talking about. So we know yours come from your father. So what would you say we all have in common besides our genes that make us all human?
Well, we regardless of color, religion, we all have love and pain, and we all bleed the same.
Yes.
And we all just want, I guess, to have a good life and be treated with respect, right?
Amen.
And I think that's kind of the biggest challenge around the world, really, at the moment is, having people treat other people with love. And, no one is better than anyone else. And I think it's 2021. If people get that shit out of their head, they get that stuff out of their head that I'm not better than you, you're not better than me. We're all just trying to live our lives and have our families and just live day to day.
Yeah.
And if people can live like that, I think the beautiful thing about music is it unites the world. It doesn't matter if you don't speak my language, I don't speak your language. Once you add music into the equation, I speak your language.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And damn, we're getting really deep at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Look, I'm all like, yes.
But you know what I mean,
1:30
right?
for
Like,
you, 8:30 for me.
yeah. I think music unites the world.
Yeah.
And if musicians took over the world,
Hmm.
there'd be no wars.
Yeah.
Everyone, it'd just be love.
Yeah. I
You
like
know?
that. It's something you talk about that. There's an artist friend, and I've interviewed her before too, Sam Ree, and she's from Ethiopia. And she's here
Yeah.
in the Bay Area. And when I first heard her music, I don't even know what she was saying. We were both laughing about it. I'm like, girl, I don't even know what you're saying, but I'm feeling everything that's going on here. It was just like I was so connected and tuned in. So I
Yeah.
listened to a lot of international music, believe it or not. Like I don't need to know what you're saying. I'm
You
vibing
feel
with
it.
the vibration, you
Yeah.
know. So speaking of international, you are in Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
So we'll go into, of course, 2020 pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, what was the music scene like over there? Because I know the borders are closed right now, right?
They are, oh, look, they just reopened.
Oh, good.
So we can travel, and we can actually now travel to New Zealand.
Mm.
So they call it the bubble, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we can travel back and forth to New Zealand and all our states. So I
Yeah.
think when we spoke last, some of the states were closed to each
Mm-hmm.
other.
Yeah. So
And
now
look,
open.
I've got to say, it's really normal. We're going back to normal in Sydney.
Wow.
There are thousands of people. We have like football games, and where
Mm-hmm.
there's 100,000 people. I was in the city the other night. There are people everywhere getting on boats. There was a boat cruise that I saw getting on maybe 700 people,
Oh,
all
wait up.
side by side in a line.
No.
So we actually don't have COVID in New South Wales at the moment in Sydney.
Mm.
So we are kind of going back to normal, or feeling like we're going back to normal.
Yeah.
But you know how easy it is where one person comes in, they've got COVID,
That's
and
it.
before you know it, 500 people have it.
Or 500,000. I mean, you heard about India. I don't know if you
Yeah,
seen yesterday, 365,000 people.
yeah, yeah.
India, all like in 24 hours. That's
It's
that's a
crazy,
lot.
man.
Yeah.
You know,
So
uh, it's to be honest, we are very lucky. We're blessed
yeah.
because we are kind of living normal, and I know how the rest of the world is.
Yeah.
I've got friends all over the world, and they're telling me it's a disaster.
Mm,
Musicians aren't working, whereas in Australia, we've gone back to kind of doing shows and
hmm
being able to watch concerts and things like that.
hmm
Um, Obviously, no one can come into the country, so right now, I guess every artist that is here is considered like an international artist
Yeah.
because no one else can come out from other countries.
Well, we're opening back up. I mean, we're able to do things, but it's just, I think each his own, to be, cautious. Again, I was having this conversation with a client today, and there's still a lot of people not really taking it seriously. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's like, it's on you. I think you still should be wearing a mask. You still should be staying your distance. It's just like, it's not a joke for them to say
not
365,000 people in India, even though it's far away, it's still here. It's still going on, you
well
know?
for us. India's only 7 hours away, 8 hours away. It's really not
Exactly.
that far.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
So, well, I'm glad that you guys are now, the borders are opening, because I know that was a big deal when you were on the Wanye Wednesdays and trying
yeah.
to get to the United States of America.
Man, I'm still trying to get to the United States.
Well, you're coming. I know you're coming with this voice.
I am. I'm gonna come.
You're coming, and I'm
Yeah,
going to see you when you come. Okay, I want tickets. I'm going to be there.
done.
I like wordplay, and it's interesting because you, of course, are a librarian by day,
Yeah.
and into literature and books and things like that. And I'm into books and words and paraphrases. So I'm
Okay.
going to say a few of them that I picked just for you, based on what I know about you thus far. Okay. And I want you to tell me what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say the word or the paraphrase. You ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
I think I said it earlier. Debonair.
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 When I think of debonair, I think of you know, those British, you know, British style with the top hat, and the, you know, the real formal, you know, the cravat and the. That's what I think of when I hear the word debonair. I just think of some poshy, you know, top hat wearing man.
Well, because when I first saw it, I was like, well, that's the word I use. Because, yeah, it's very sophisticated, obviously. Very classy, put together, someone that dresses like you.
Oh, thank you. I tried. Thank you.
The second one is perseverance.
Perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that every artist needs to have.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I hope I'm answering these the right way.
You're fine. No, right.
You know, when I think of perseverance, I think it's something that every artist really should have, because, you know, this is not a game. This is, you know, being in the music industry, you got to have some thick skin, right? Mm-hmm. And you really do have to have perseverance.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to get knocked down, dust yourself off, and go, okay,
get back up
here, but it's not really a fail. You know, it's
yeah.
How do I grab this situation and make a positive out of the negative that I feel?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I always look at it from that aspect, you know, where I look at it as, okay, I've had a million knockdowns. I've had a million close calls. Again, I pick myself up, dust myself off, feel sorry for myself for about 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then I go, let's get to work. And it's time to do something that will hopefully work. Change my direction.
I like that. And I like the 5-minute thing, because you only get 5 minutes to be emotional, right?
That's it.
Literally. The show must go on, always. Yep. Passion driven.
Passion driven. Mm-hmm. Well, again, you know, as an artist, you really do have to love what you do. Mm-hmm. It's got to come from the heart, because if you're thinking, I'm doing this for money, man, go get yourself another job.
Yeah.
Because I know musicians, me included, artists, who will work 20 hours straight, sit in the studio, you know, they come in the morning, or it may be dark, and they work all the way through the night to the next night.
Jesus.
Forget to eat, forget to sleep, you know, they just live and breathe music. Forget their whole world, right? Except for music. Yeah. And I think if you're looking at it from a dollar point of view, like I'm going to make this much money out of this, you need to do you need to be in another industry altogether. Because, yes, I'm not telling you you can't make money out of music, but I'm saying you have to work really, really hard.
Very hard.
Always.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what level you are at. You know, you could be at the level of Mariah Carey, or you could be at the level where we are at, and you still got to work your ass off. That's the reality.
It's a reality, King. I would agree, because I think in anything, right, that's creative, because most creative positions, type of jobs, or what you're talking about, art, I could even say with Steve Jobs. I mean, if you go all the way back to him and Apple.
Yeah.
Weren't making any money. They were working just like in their house, doing what we're doing. I mean, you know, in the garage, you know, building from the ground up. And I think so many people want to jump over the process and get to the millions and not realize this is the millions. You know what I'm saying? This is where it's at. I smile every day, because I'm just so happy to meet people, you know, like yourselves, and so many of the people I've met so far. You know what I'm saying? No regrets.
Absolutely. Look, I hate that term, overnight success.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, anyone who's successful, there is no such thing as an overnight success. Anyone who is truly successful has worked their guts out for it. They've worked their entire life to achieve the goals that they're now achieving.
Years.
So I think there is no such thing as that overnight success. That's a myth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Andrew B. Jackson just said, this is the best part of the journey.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, King. I would agree. Yes, we both agree. So you talked about love a few minutes ago, and you sing a lot of love songs. Okay.
Yeah.
Exquisite is lovely. A lovely love. I can't even say a lovely love song. um, is it important to you? Do you think it's important to love or to be loved?
I think it's important to love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because to be loved, yeah, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
mean, again, I'm in an industry where everything is positive, positive, positive. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you think of any other job in the world, and it's not always a positive. Most of the time, it's like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to work
Yeah.
harder. But in the music industry, generally, the people that come and watch you, they come and watch you because they love what you do.
Yes.
And they love you as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very positive thing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to be loved.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's cool. But I think to love somebody and
Mm-hmm.
to love the people around you and love your family, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
More important than anything, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you know your career will come and go. Other aspects of your life, money, things, they all come and go. You know,
Mm-hmm.
cars, they all come and go.
Mm-hmm.
But people that you love,
Yeah.
if you truly love them, they'll always be in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I agree. I think even when they're gone, I think that connection you're
They're
talking
still there.
about, is always there. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that a lot. Would you say that your music journey has had a deliberate direction, Anton, or did it simply gradually evolve into where you are right now today?
I think no. I think I worked towards
Mm-hmm.
these goals. Look, there is a little bit of uh, some people call it luck. Some people call it God's plan. Some people call it just where you're meant to be at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, I call it God's plan.
Amen.
And I don't fight what God wants.
Yeah.
I do the best that I can. I try and achieve the things that I want to the best of my ability.
Mm.
And if God wants me to be where I am, that's
Mm-hmm.
where I'll be.
Yeah.
You know?
Where you're there, okay?
Thank you.
I mean, I am so humbled just listening to your voice. So speaking of your voice, Careless Whisper was an amazing song and visual that you did.
Thank you.
Talk to me about that process.
Look, I had always loved that song.
Yes.
And I was thinking I wanted to do an R&B version of that song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of give it like a R&B hip hop vibe. You know, just kind of give it a modern twist.
Yeah.
Obviously, still respecting what George Michael did.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to give it that my own flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had worked with this producer. He was in Russia, and he's produced a whole bunch of my beats. And I kind of just gave him the idea, and he kind of came back. He came back with a really modern sounding twist to it. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's going to work. Anyway, then I took it into my studio, and I got my sax player on it, Olget Sadiku, who's like an amazing sax player.
Yeah.
Like a gun. He's Albanian, and he
Mm-hmm.
won Albania's Got Talent. And he lives in Australia now, and I get the pleasure of working with him.
Wow.
And, I got him on the track, and he did that, the really famous,
Yes.
the really famous
I
lick,
love it. Yeah.
And then the second he added it on that track, it all
Mm-hmm.
came together for me. I was like, yes, this is cool.
Yeah.
And so once I did it, I was like, okay, how do I get it out now? It's George Michael's song.
Clearance.
Right?
Yeah.
like, I didn't really think about it too much. I just thought, I want to do a version of this song. I'm going to do it. And then I, through lawyers, you know, contacted George Michael's lawyers, and it all came together. And it took a very long time to get approval. And then I wanted to add a rap to it. I was like, maybe I'll modernize it even more and put a little rap twist. And they're like, no chance in hell. You cannot add a rap to this song. You got to keep the lyrics the same. You know, there is a little bit of freedom they give you, but not too much.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like, cool. Sent it to them. They loved it. They approved it. And then I released. I had it on hold because I was just, to be honest, I was saving to put a really good film clip together. You know, I wanted to do something cool. I was checking out locations and trying to get the right film, you know, cinematographer to do it. And I ended up getting a guy named Aladdin Royale, who's a great film, you know, he does great film clips. Yeah. And so we found these locations, and I was putting it all together. Anyway, I was in America at that time, and George Michael died. Yeah.
That was here. Okay.
And I was in the States. I was actually, I think I might have been in Hawaii at the time.
Wow.
And I find out George Michael's died, and I was like, what the hell? Anyway, so I've come home, rushed to put it together, just so there was, I guess, without sounding morbid, you know, kind of going off the back of at least like a memorial to him, you know, like a remembrance to him. So when I release it, I'm not doing it a year later, you know. Exactly. You know, it was still, you know, that way I can say, you know, in remembrance of George Michael. And so I did. I came back, put it all together, made all the phone calls, and kind of, and that was the film clip that you've seen, you know. And I think it came out really nicely, and I hope I did the song justice.
You did. Yes, you did the song justice. He would be very proud. I actually have it right now. I want to play a few minutes of it. Okay. And I think the sax player is on here. Did I just see him pass?
Yeah, he just wrote a message. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Origin?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to play a few minutes of this amazing collaboration. He said, "Thank you very much, brother." He's proud of you. I'm proud of both of you. I think this is an incredible collaboration. So this is Anton Aktila in your version of course, this amazing song, Careless Whisper. Amazing visual.
Thank you.
And there you are, amazing saxophone. You'd be very proud. You can hear it okay?
Yeah.
I feel so unsure. It's a very timeless sound. While I'm playing this, King, tell everybody where they can find you aside from Instagram.
Okay. You can find me on YouTube under Anton, Anton Aktila, Aktila, on YouTube, and under the same name on Facebook, and of course on Instagram, and on Twitter, and all these other platforms. On Spotify under the same name. So Anton Aktila.
Anton Aktila. It's like jazzy, R&B, it's pop.
Yeah.
It's everything. sound I played earlier, Exquisite. They are both available on all platforms. I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feeling I throw it up. It's easy to pretend. Know you're not a fool. Should've known better than to keep it friend. With the chance that I pick it up. No, I'm never gonna dance again. We'll dance with you. It has even a little bit of a Latin feel to it too.
Yeah, a little. Yeah.
Yes.
The original is actually slightly faster. And
really?
Yeah, believe it or not. I kind of slowed it down a little. Which kind of changes the whole vibe.
Ooh, that voice. So that's Careless Whisper. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling? Did you want to share a taste of that amazing sound with us? Are you warming up for your gig tonight? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can do something.
You knew that was coming. I know everybody.
The thing with being a singer, and you know this, I'm sure.
I don't do it, but I always ask.
the second that anyone says to you, "Oh, so what do you do for work?" I'm like, "I'm a singer," and they're like, "Well, sing us something then." It really is the only job in the world where people put you on the spot all the time. So yeah, I'm cool to do something, no problem.
Okay.
All right. I might do you an old school classic by Etta James.
Jeez.
Okay. All right.
Get my fan ready.
My love has come along. My lonely days are over, and love is like a song. Oh, and the stars above, they are blue. My heart was wrapped up in clover. The night I looked at you,
beautiful.
I found a dream to press my cheek to. A dream that I can call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to. A thrill that I can never know. You smile, and then a spell was cast. Yeah. Said here we are in heaven. For you are mine at last. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anton.
Thank you, Monique. I appreciate it.
A blessing. I'm just so thankful that you took the time today. We are 17 hours difference. It is Friday over there. It is 2:00 in the afternoon. And we are still on Thursday. So I appreciate you. I want to say to you, congratulations in advance for all the hard work that you have done through the years. You know, you are there. You know, we are seeing you. You know, we are hearing you. And I am just excited when you come to the United States to be able to, of course, come and sit in an amazing venue and watch you just bless us all with that gift you just blessed us with tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. So keep up the good work, please. And like I said, you are Anton Aktila. You are available on all platforms. Your sound is available, I should say. And this video will be available after this amazing interview dialogue that we just had will be available on the Face Behind the Brands YouTube channel, which is now available. So if you haven't subscribed, click the link in the bio, and this interview will be available there for everyone after. So I want you to have a wonderful afternoon and an amazing gig tonight. Where are you performing tonight?
I've just got a private party.
Private party.
Yeah.
Well, if you give them anything you gave us tonight, I mean, they're going to be very pleased, of course, you know, with your sound. So I won't knock them dead, you know, with the, the circumstances. But give them everything you got. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Be great, Anton.
Thank you, Monique. God bless you.
Okay, God bless you. Peace. Thank you again. Good night.
Good night.